Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your RAG system can crush offline eval and still make users hate it.
Yes, because offline eval usually measures whether the system can answer a defined query set, while users measure whether it helped them finish a messy real task without wasting time.
So, this is not metrics are bad. It is that the scoreboard and the battlefield are different.
Exactly. Benchmarks are controlled. Production is full of ambiguity, shifting intent, stale documents, weird phrasing, hidden constraints, and people who do not ask the question they actually need answered.
Give me a concrete miss. Not theory. What does a team think is working when it is already failing?
A support bot can score well on retrieval precision using benchmark questions like refund policy or password reset window. Then real users ask, I was charged after canceling during a plan change. Can I get that reversed? The gold set never captured the edge case, and the user does not care that 3 top chunks were technically relevant.
That is the first trap then. Offline eval sees relevance. The user feels friction.
Right. Real pain often comes from one level above the metric. The retrieval may be decent, but the answer misses the action, the exception, the eligibility rule, or the next step. Users experience failure as uncertainty, delay, and having to rephrase.
And rephrasing is expensive. Every extra turn feels like the system is losing authority.
And losing trust. In deployment, trust is a compounding variable. One confident but incomplete answer can turn a useful assistant into something users double-check every time.
Let us hit user intent. Because benchmark queries are usually tidy, real user intent is not.
Yes, benchmark queries are often single intent and fully formed. Real queries are underspecified, mixed intent, or strategic. A user might ask for policy, but what they really need is a safe recommendation they can send to their manager.
So the same words can hide different jobs to be done.
Exactly. Think about an internal engineering assistant. Offline query, how do I rotate API keys? Real query, we had a suspected leak. Keys are shared across services. What is the fastest safe rotation path without taking prod down? That second question includes urgency, risk, sequencing, and trade-offs. A benchmark item rarely carries all of that.
Which means a benchmark can reward systems that answer the noun phrase and miss the operating context.
Yes, and context is where user value lives. If your eval set strips away urgency, permissions, team boundaries, or consequences, you are testing a smaller problem than the one users are paying you to solve.
Now let us talk about deployment. Why do entirely new failures show up only after launch?
Because deployment changes the distribution and the incentives. Users discover weird paths, documents change, access controls matter, latency matters, the UI nudges behavior, and the model starts seeing adversarial or shortcut-seeking prompts that no benchmark writer included.
So, launch is not just more data. It is a power shift. Users, not the test set, decide what counts as failure.
Exactly. In production, failure is broader than wrong answer. It can be answering from outdated docs, citing a chunk the user cannot open, combining 2 policies from different regions, or sounding certain when the evidence is thin.
Give me a practical deployment example programmers will recognize.
Imagine a company wiki assistant for on-call engineers. Offline, it looks great because the eval set uses current incident runbooks. After deployment, users ask during an outage while the runbook is being edited. Retrieval returns an older mirrored page with almost identical wording. The answer looks plausible, but it points to a deprecated rollback step. Offline score stays high. Production impact is a longer incident.
That is brutal, because the cost is not a bad grade, it is downtime.
Right. And notice what failed. Not just retrieval relevance, freshness, source priority, permission-aware ranking, and the system's ability to express uncertainty under pressure.
So how should teams respond without throwing out eval?
Use layers. Keep offline eval for regression control and component tuning. But add task-based eval with realistic intents, multi-turn traces, and failure categories tied to user pain. Could not act, acted incorrectly, took too long, asked the wrong follow-up, cited stale or inaccessible content.
And I assume you want production signals too. not just a prettier benchmark.
Definitely. Instrument the live system. Track reformulation rate, abandonment after answer, escalation to humans, citation opens, time to successful task completion, and where users override the system. Those signals reveal whether the assistant is actually reducing work.
So the mature move is not metric worship or metric cynicism. It is choosing metrics that correspond to the failure someone feels.
Exactly. The goal is to connect system behavior to user consequences. If your eval cannot predict who gets blocked, who gets misled, and who gets through faster, it is not finished yet.
And the teams that learn that early get a strategic edge because they improve where users actually bleed.
That is the whole game. Offline eval tells you what your system can do in theory, but real users tell you what it costs when theory breaks.